Hi everybody, this video is all about how to use GPT and Thesaurus online in order to build your vocabulary. Now, the fact is, you're not going to get a high score in IELTS if you do not use interesting vocabulary. One of the big secrets to improving your IELTS score is to show the examiner that you have a wide range of vocabulary. You can express yourself in different and interesting ways. All of those courses and websites that promise to give you a band 8 or band 9 just are not telling the truth if you do not improve your vocabulary. Now, this might seem like a daunting task, but it is a part of your score that you really need to pay attention to. So, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use ChatGPT and the online thesaurus in order to build the number of different words that you know. Keep watching and find out the 3 simple steps that you can take to build the range of vocabulary for you to use. If you're new to this channel, welcome to IELTS Breakthrough. IELTS Breakthrough is a YouTube channel where we help students and professionals to get a high score in IELTS so that you can study at an international university or progress in your career. We also help people with IELTS life skills so that you can live in a different country. Please make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification button so that you don't miss any of the videos. Every video gives you tips and strategies to improve your score. We are here to help you, not to try and sell you stuff. Let me explain this simple system for building your vocabulary now. Here is step 1 then. Step 1 is simply that you need to expose yourself to vocabulary. And that basically means that you need to find an article or text of English from which you will take the vocabulary items and build on. Your text can come from different sources. It could be a news article from one of the international news media sites. TheEconomist.com is a good place to start for that. Or you could go to one of your favourite magazines and take out an article there. Or, if you like, you could take a novel and perhaps pick 1 or 2 paragraphs to use. However, the best method that I would suggest is to actually use some IELTS reading texts as a way to build your vocabulary. And in this video, that's what I'm going to do with the example. I'm going to use an IELTS reading text. Now, note that there is quite a lot of material on the IELTS.org website where you can get free sample test materials. What's more, because these materials come from IELTS.org, they are considered official reading test content. So that's where I suggest you start, and I'll put a link in the description if you want to go there. Once you have decided on the text that you are going to use, then it is time to pick out the vocabulary. Now, just a tip when picking out the vocabulary, there is no need to select a really long text. I suggest just choosing about 2 paragraphs from the text, maybe 3 paragraphs. And then what you need to do is read through those paragraphs carefully and slowly and find words or phrases that are new to you. If there is a word or a phrase that you do not know, underline it. Try to pick out between 5 and 10 new words or phrases from those paragraphs. Once you have discovered those 5 to 10 words or phrases, just make a separate list. You can copy or paste them if you're doing it digitally, or you might like to write it down in your notepad or something. All right then, so you have identified the text that you're going to use, you've read it, and you've picked out between 5 and 10 vocabulary items that you are going to expand upon. We now go to step number 3, and step number 3 is where you use an online thesaurus and or ChatGPT to build on the vocabulary that you have discovered. In terms of the tools here, I simply recommend using thesaurus.com and then of course ChatGPT. Now, there are advantages to both of them. With thesaurus.com, you just get the simple focused word list, which can be a lot easier. Of course, with ChatGPT, there is a lot more flexibility. This can be useful, but it can also be a little bit confusing. Now, the easiest way to explain step number 3 is to go into my computer and look at how to use both of these. So, let's go into the computer and go through these steps and you can see how they work. So, into the computer we go. Let's take a look at a demonstration. As I said, step 1 is to find a text from which you will take vocabulary. And I would say the best thing to do is to get an old IELTS reading test to lift the vocabulary from. So this is the example I am going to use. It is from an official computer-based reading test, and this is information provided from IELTS.org. Now, the link is in the description if you want to get the exact same thing. Once you have chosen your text, of course, the next thing is to choose some vocabulary from the text. Now, as you can see here, I have chosen some words. I've put them in bold in the text here, and I've just also copied them at the bottom of the text so that we have a list of vocabulary items that we're going to learn and build from. One of the things you can do is you can also pick out phrases. It does not have to be individual words. So I've got a multi-word verb to fulfill a promise, and another multi-word verb to mark the start of something. And I've also got a prepositional phrase, on the understanding that. So just read through the text and see which words you don't know. Choose those as the ones you are going to learn. Now, let's go on to the next step and let's look at how to use the thesaurus.com to build your vocabulary power. All right then, so the easiest website to use is thesaurus.com, and what this website does is it just gives you alternative words with the same meaning. And I like this because it is just a real simple way of building your vocabulary. It just gives you extra words with the same meaning, and you can build on the list there. So let's take the word remarkable, and we'll input remarkable into the search space on thesaurus.com and then hit enter, and you'll see that it gives us a load of words. You can see they've put it in green, And notice the title as well. It gives you a list of the strongest matches and the weak matches. Of course, strongest matches means the words have a very close meaning. Weak matches mean that the meaning is not completely the same, just similar meaning. And we have a nice list here. Curious, exceptional, important, impressive, miraculous, and so on. All of these words are really nice adjectives that you can use and you can add to your vocabulary power. Now, also notice that on the right-hand tab, there is a thing that says antonyms. Now, antonyms mean words that have the opposite meaning. So, as well as ones with the same meaning, you can also build your vocabulary with the opposites. And as you can see, this is useful. The words are underlined in red, just to remind you that red is the opposite. Again, if you look at this list, there are some good examples. Average, bad, common, commonplace, familiar, inconsequential, inconspicuous. Those last two are interesting words. Of course, words like bad, common, and familiar, you probably don't need to learn. You already know these. And that's thesaurus.com. Now, one more thing I can show you. Let's move on and have a look at another word. So this time we'll use the word prodigious. Again, this was one of the words from the list. And we'll just type it into the search function on thesaurus.com. Notice that this time, because prodigious is quite an interesting, less common item, your choices are fewer. Here, with the synonyms, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 synonyms. One of the things to notice here is that there is also a pronunciation option. So, if you click on that little speaker icon to the right of the word, you can also hear how to say the word.
Prodigious. Prodigious.
And of course, you can click it as many times as you like. Once again, you can also check out the antonyms. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is how to use thesaurus.com with your vocabulary building using the list of words you have found from your text. Now, in the next part, let's look at ChatGPT. Okay, so here we are in ChatGPT. Now, the first thing you need to do is to put in the prompt that you are going to use. So I'm going to use the prompt that I have suggested in the video. Here it is. I am preparing for the IELTS and I want to expand my vocabulary. Suggest 5 more words with similar meaning to each of the following. And now, of course, you need to provide your list of the 5 words. So we'll use the 5 words that I took out of the text in step 1. Copy and paste those into ChatGPT. And then, of course, ChatGPT will offer some 5 new words that are similar in meaning. Now, one of the things with ChatGPT is that it is stronger on multi-word verbs and phrases, like to fulfill a promise, on the understanding that, and the other one is to mark the start of something. So when you have a phrase, a piece of vocabulary that has several words, it's probably a good idea to use ChatGPT. If it is just one word, yes, of course you can use ChatGPT, but often thesaurus.com works really well too. Now, of course, ChatGPT is an AI tool, as we all know. So there's something more you can do, and you can add an extra prompt here. The prompt I would suggest is to ask ChatGPT for examples of sentences that use the words from your original list. I've used this prompt. Please give examples of sentences that use the words you gave for remarkable. And then, as you can see, ChatGPT will produce 5 sentences using the additional vocabulary that was listed. And these example sentences just help you to understand and see how the vocabulary is used in an English sentence. You can repeat that prompt for each one of the words or phrases in your list, and then of course you'll need to record this information into your notebook, read it and study it. So that is an example of how you can use thesaurus.com and ChatGPT to build your vocabulary. Let's come out of the computer now and go back to David in full screen on the camera mode. And there you have it. By following these 3 steps, you can see that it's very easy to get a whole mountain of new vocabulary that you can learn and use in your speaking and writing, and also recognize in the reading and listening. Note that this video is focused on building a wider range. However, there's more steps that you need to apply if you're going to use the vocabulary properly. Once you have built your list, of course, you need to take steps to remember the vocabulary. That is the best way to use digital flashcards. And then, as well as remembering it, it's a good idea to try and use the vocabulary. Maybe you can put it in your daily activities. Maybe you write presentations, write emails, and you can apply the vocabulary there. Or, if you like, you can just make simple videos to yourself where you just teach the new vocabulary on video. Remember, there is a system for growing vocabulary and being ready to use it, and I've made a video about that. Make sure that you check out that video so that you understand the whole system. So, have a go at this. Let me know in the comments, how do you grow your vocabulary? Did you try this system, and how well did it work for you? I'd be really interested in hearing from you. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, week, afternoon, evening and weekend in whatever you're doing. Make sure that you check out the next video.